Dude, what the fuck?
So, it's been a little while. I'm only coming back to this topic because there is new stuff to go over here, but I promise not to make a habit of doing this kind of content, especially not of this particular individual. Because really, I would like to get back to I would like to go back to talking about issues that actually matter. But we're doing this again today. We're just gonna have a little fun. Also, sorry in advance for the mic quality. I broke my other one. I don't know how, but it's broken, and I'm trying to get parts for my new one so it doesn't sound shitty. Don't order anything from Wish, by the way. Just word of advice. So to recap, the situation here, 6 months ago, at the time of recording, I made a video called "The Jinx of Commentary." Link in the description. And in it, I reviewed a channel called Rational Outlaw, which is basically just a run-of-the-mill anti-SJW channel with basic bitch conservative talking points with some libertarian lip service thrown in occasionally. I wasn't too proud of that video after I let it air. There's like a whole section at the beginning that I think should be cut out. It's not very it's just me reading titles of his videos and making fun of them. And at the time of recording, I thought that was really funny, but now it's just kind of goes on, and it doesn't really have anything else to do with the rest of the video. And I wanted to cut it out, but I did not because I was under the impression that Rational Outlaw was going to be making a response video, and I thought it would look kind of shitty on my part to cut that out if he's going to be making a response video. And I thought he was going to be making a response video because he said he was in the comment section, in this comment right here. Oh, and sorry, you're not a conservative, of course. You just sound exactly like them on virtually every issue. But sure, okay, fine, you're not a conservative. Sorry for saying that. Although, to be fair, I never said you were a conservative. I only said that that was the vibe I got from your channel. But anyway, this response video that he promised me never ended up coming into fruition. After a couple months had passed, I thought maybe he just forgot. So I reminded him of his promise that he made to me, and he then blocked me. I don't really care if he blocks me or if he doesn't end up making the response video that he said he would. I mean, I didn't write a sad song about it or anything.
That's literally it. It's just B minor, E minor, and then D minor repeated. I said I didn't write a song about it. Fucking libtards, pay attention.
It's not the first time I've been stood up, and it probably won't be the last. But he did actually end up sort of responding to one of the least important things I said in the video, offhand, and of course without referencing me. I think this is a response to me because, well, we'll get into that. But anyway, I wanted to in this video like take a look at that and take a look at some of the content that he's been producing in the past couple months. It's very uh I don't even know. He's a dumb guy. He's really dumb. The content he's been producing on his channel has been, about as terrible as it's always been. Uh, a lot of apologizing for police brutality and, more stuff like that. Also, he kind of interviewed a pedophile and like an admitted pedophile on his channel just because the guy hates Jeremiah Harding and so does Rational Outlaw. It wasn't a good look. And then he ended up deleting everything that had anything to do with that whole bit of drama off of his channel, and I guess thought no one would ever bring it up again. Hey, you know, um, what the fuck, dude? Whatever. We're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna stick to a couple of videos today. This first one is called Apparently I Am, and it is just like indicative of like everything I don't like about this person.
Apparently. Apparently, I did not know I was these things. Perhaps I should listen more, because apparently I'm a conservative and or a Republican, because I believe you have the freedom of religion, but not the freedom from religion. Apparently I'm a Republican or a conservative because I don't hate that crosses are on government property.
Okay, so I believe that is targeted at me, and yeah, this is just perfect. Okay, um, what religion, Outlaw, should I join? What religion would you force me to join? Because if I don't have the freedom from religion, that means I have to join one. I don't know what's so hard about this for you to understand. If I don't have freedom from religion, I don't have freedom of religion either. They're the same thing. The same thing that lets you worship whatever the fuck you want is the exact same concept that lets me go, I don't want to worship any of it because I don't fucking believe in it. Saying you have freedom of religion but not freedom from religion is like saying you have the freedom to have sex with whoever you want, but you don't have the freedom to refuse sex from people you don't like. It is as stupid as saying that. As stupid and contradictory as saying that. And about the crosses, I never said you were a conservative because you're okay with crosses on public land. I never said that. I never said you were a conservative. I said that was the vibe I got from your channel. My whole thing about the crosses on public land was that I'm not okay with any statues on public land, any monuments really, because they're funded through coercion, and particularly religious monuments because that whole point I made in the video about being forced to fund something you are morally against. Just imagine being forced to fund a Satanist monument. I can see why you didn't respond to my video and just made this ridiculous video instead. Because your audience would definitely see that your argument makes no fucking sense if you are actually responding to the source material instead of doing it like this, divorced from any context. I believe this part of the video was responding to me because nobody else that is criticizing him at the moment, and trust me, there are quite a lot of people doing that. None of these other people have hit him on this religious monuments on public land thing, other than me, as far as I'm aware.
Apparently, I'm a bootlicker
Apparently.
because I don't hate the police. Apparently, I'm a bootlicker because I don't believe you should attack a cop unless they attack you. Apparently, I'm a bootlicker because I don't think people should be rioting and destroying public property and setting police stations on fire.
Yeah, because damn, setting police stations on fire is pretty fucking base, dude. I still can't believe they actually did that. Wow. Oh yeah, by the way, Mr. Libertarian, there's no such thing as public property. Public property is property stolen from the people by the government. But you're a minarchist, sure.
Apparently, I'm a bootlicker because I think anarchy would not work. Apparently, I'm an alt-righter because I don't believe in treating black and Hispanic people and other minorities as children. Apparently, I'm a Nazi because I think there's a problem with gang culture inside the black and Hispanic communities. Apparently, I'm a fascist because I believe in having strong borders. Apparently, I'm a fascist because I have nationalist views.
Well, fascism and nationalism are not that far apart from each other.
Apparently, I am all of these things.
Apparently.
But yet, I am not. I am not a Republican. I am not a conservative. I am not a bootlicker. I am not an alt-righter. I am not a Nazi. And I am not a fascist. I believe in maximizing the amount of freedom that everyone can have, no matter their race, skin color, their sex, their sexual orientation, their nationality.
Yeah, unless they're an immigrant. Fucking immigrants taking my jobs.
Or their religion.
Yeah, unless they don't have a fucking religion like those damn atheists. Just pick one already. You can't have no religion. There is no freedom from religion, fuckheads. Also, fuck Satanists. Unless it's Jim Jesus. That guy's cool, because he hates Jeremiah Harding.
I wish to have a constitutional federalist minarchist republic.
Because there's nothing more minarchist than federalism. The fuck?
Because I believe these are the things that are needed to create a long-lasting, free society. If you disagree with me, fine, that's okay. But don't call me something I'm not. Do to others what you want them to do to you. Jesus of Nazareth.
What? We're quoting Jesus now? Okay. Hey slaves, be sure to obey your masters, even the really cruel ones. Jesus of Nazareth. That quote doesn't really have anything to do with the rest of the video, but neither did yours. So, now believe it or not, the next video is actually worse than that one we just watched. And it's of a similar style, the sort of dramatic music and his voice over. But it's just conservative talking point, the video. It's called If You Cared.
If you cared. If you cared about Black lives, you would not support Black Lives Matter. If you cared about Black lives, you would see that Black Lives Matter does not care about Black lives.
Interesting tactic, your whole oh, if you cared about the things that you say you care about, you would actually have the same opinion about them that I do. The fact that you don't have the exact same opinion that I do means you don't actually care about it. It's a very interesting tactic. Actually, no, it's not interesting at all. It's very old. But we'll see where he goes with this.
You would see that Black Lives Matter destroys black neighborhoods. They steal from black-owned businesses and destroyed their livelihoods. If you cared about black lives, then you would care when Black Lives Matter kills and beats black people. If you cared about black lives, you would know what is true. You would see that black people are not being targeted by white police officers or any police officers.
If you cared about black people, you would ignore all of the data that says they are disproportionately affected by heavy policing. Am I doing it right?
If you truly cared about black lives, you would see what are the true problems for the black community. You would see that the problem for the black community is the gang culture within the black community.
If you truly cared about black people, you would insert conservative talking point number 75.
You would see that the problem in the black community is single-parent households.
If you truly cared about black lives, you would insert conservative talking point number 40.
You would see that the problem is black-on-black crime.
Conservative talking point number 64.
You would see these problems if you truly cared about black people. If you truly cared about black lives, you would not be protecting the rioters. No one is saying that the police departments don't need reform.
I'm just saying, shut up about that. I want to talk about black-on-black crime.
Or that things cannot be improved. But what I and many others do say is that if you truly cared about black lives, you would truly see what the problems are. Now that I've told you these things, are you going to start to care?
Dude, you have some nerve. I can't believe... Never let it be said that Rational Outlaw doesn't have balls. I mean, he just told black people that they don't care about themselves because they don't agree with his conservative talking points. Really, just bravo, man. Bravo.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Martin Luther King.
Well, shit, if we're quoting Martin Luther King Jr., something is wrong with the economic system of our nation. Something is wrong with capitalism. Maybe America must move toward a democratic socialism. We must develop programs that will drive the nation to the realization of the need for a guaranteed annual income. Dr. Martin Luther King. And hey, Martin Luther King said it, so damn it, I guess we better become democratic socialists. Also, you might not want to look into what Dr. King's views on homosexuality were. Maybe when you're done with your rant on black crime, maybe you could tell me what the relevance of that is to the discussion on police brutality? I mean, what the fuck does black on black crime have to do with cops murdering people? Explain that. Why do you only talk about black on black crime when people are talking about police murdering people? Why is that the only time you bring it up? If you cared that much about black on black crime, why don't you talk about it in any other context? You only bring it up as some sort of deflection against criticism of the police. And like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you? You say you're not against reform? Why don't you ever talk about reform? Why is it when other people start talking about reform, you start talking about all these other issues that have nothing to do with reform? Oh, If you cared about police reform and people not getting murdered by the cops because they smoked a blunt once, or they were selling untaxed cigarettes, or they might have used currency that wasn't legitimate, well, maybe you should talk about single parenthood instead. Okay, that is like you having an argument about abortion, saying that people shouldn't be killing babies, and then someone on the other side going, "Yeah, well, if you cared about babies dying, you would be talking about shaken baby syndrome." And then you're like, "What the fuck? What does that have to do with abortion?" And he's like, "No, if you cared about dead babies, you would be talking about shaken baby syndrome. And the fact that you're not talking about shaken baby syndrome means you don't actually care about dead babies. Checkmate." And that person would be just as stupid as you are right now about this topic. I could go on, and there are other videos that I want to look at. I didn't know how long this was going to take me to make, and looks like we've gone over 20 minutes already, and I don't want this to be like super long, so I'm going to make a part 2 where I will go over the other videos that I wanted to look at, and then we can close the door on this rational outlaw character. By the way, why are you called Rational Outlaw? You're not an outlaw. You're the biggest fucking cuck for the state and the whole so-called minarchist movement. You're not an outlaw. You're not an outlaw at all. The fuck? Anyway, see y'all in part 2.